Let me tell you about the time that I took a fall and it hurt really bad. Wasn't quite so embarrassing, even though I was at work and I was in a room by myself, but it was loud enough that it startled students, and a former colleague of mine, came in to check on me. And as painful as that fall was, I learned a lesson. I learned 4 valuable lessons from that fall, that there is power in the bounce back. And so in this particular episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the lessons that I learned from falling. And it's not just about physical falling. It's about the metaphorical falls, the failures, the setbacks that we take that can actually build resistance, faith, and courage. Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It. Let's get started. Welcome to Work It, Live It, Own It, a show that explores how to upgrade your lifestyle through life lessons, real estate, and entrepreneurship. Here's your hostess, SaCola Lehr. So, like I said, I took a fall, and I have to say that I was proud of myself because I was not sitting at my desk eating lunch. There is nothing less sexy than just sitting at your lunch, getting crumbs on your keyboard and trying to work and have lunch at the same time. Sometimes you have to do it, but you don't need to do it all the time. And so that day, I was so proud of myself on that day. I'm in the break room, I'm eating my lunch, and I'm sitting in a chair with wheels. It was on wheels, and I pushed back from the table. And apparently, I didn't push back far enough because when I got up, one foot got tangled up on the table leg, and the other foot got caught on the chair leg. And did I mention that I was clumsy? I didn't tell you that. Yes, I am pretty clumsy, guys. So I fall to the side. I hit both of my knees on the side, and my back hits the door, and the side of my face hits a chair, slams. And when you get to a certain age and you become seasoned in life, your bounce back don't snap back as quick as it once did. So lesson number 1, I had to check myself, make sure that I was okay. And after I did that, my former colleague comes in and goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I sat there for a while. She was like, "Well, just sit there for a little bit. Make sure you're all right." And I did. And when I got up, the pain was severe. I felt sharp pains. And immediately she got ice bags out of the refrigerator, put ice bags on my knees. And she was like, "Just sit there. Don't move. Just stay there for a little bit. Check on yourself. See how you're doing." And I did. I sat there for a few minutes, and I had a virtual meeting after that. And I attended my virtual meeting, and the pain was still severe. And so I had to go to urgent care just to make sure that I didn't chip any bones. I didn't hurt anything. It was just, some bruising. And I took the day off the following day. Matter of fact, before I even went to urgent care, I told my boss, I said, "I fell. Here's the paperwork. I'm going to the urgent care. And as a matter of fact, I won't be in tomorrow. I'm going to need to nurse my wounds." And my boss was like, "Fine, I understand." And he even shared a story with me, how he fell off a ladder at the house and fell and hit his shoulder. And he said, "Yeah, you get to a certain age, you just can't bounce back like you once did." But guys, in that story, while I was sitting there at the urgent care, I thought about, what did I learn? And what I learned was this. Number 1, you got to take time to assess yourself. Make sure that you're okay after a setback. Make sure you're okay after that failure, that fall. We all experience them. There's no shame in it. There's lessons to be learned in failure. If you don't get anything else from this episode, there's lessons to be learned from failure and setbacks. It's okay. It feels uncomfortable. We get it. I get it. But it's when you are embracing the moments of being uncomfortable, what Iyanla Vanzant even wrote a book. It's called In the Meantime. And in that in the meantime moment is when you get the most valuable lessons in your life. So you got to learn to be uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There. And after I assessed myself and the situation, I took time. I took time after the fall. I already knew I've been down this road before. I'm clumsy and I don't snap back or just bounce back the next day and be like, hey, everything's fine. I'm good. Never been that way. It hurts for a while. I bruise easily. So I took time the following day, literally just resting, recuperating, learning to get comfortable sitting in the silence. I've made plenty of mistakes, guys, by trying to bounce and go to the next thing. Have you ever done that? And I'm one of those very tenacious people. If I see this problem, I'm going to do whatever I can to make this thing work. And then I'm just literally pulling my hair out, literally, because I'm trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It doesn't work. And that's when we tend to make some of the biggest mistakes, is because we're trying to bounce back. Oh, hope nobody ever saw this failure in my personal life or in my business. And let me pick myself up, dust myself off. And you try and move on to the next thing. And you don't appreciate the moments of silence. Because in those moments, that's when a lot of your answers come to you, your next move. The next thing that I learned was the power in recovery, taking that time to recover. Let me tell you another story. So my husband and I, we were learning another language. We're not as strong in it as we once were, but I still try to speak it on a daily basis. And I'm not as fluent or proficient in it as he is. Nevertheless, getting up and speaking in front of people can be nerve-wracking anyway. And I'm an introvert by nature, believe it or not. When I'm in the work zone, I'm in the work zone. If I'm presenting something, I'm talking about something I'm very passionate about, game on. Afterwards, don't call me, don't look for me for 2 to 3 days afterwards, because I'm like a little hobbit in a hole. However, this individual, it was their turn to present in front of an audience of about 50 people. And they were so focused on trying to get the demonstration and the illustration right that the overall theme was lost on the audience. And so them communicating in a language, in their second language, it's not their mother tongue. It kind of got lost in translation. So afterwards, they're feeling dejected. They're feeling deflated. And normally I'm not big on small talk, but I just felt so compelled to go up to them and say, hey, it's okay. And while I was coming up, another person was coming up at the same time. And this person is fluent in multiple languages. They're a polyglot. And I let them speak first, being timid. And they were like, you know what? It's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. It's fine. You just get up, you dust yourself off and you move on. You got to move on. And they said, but no, I really messed up and I feel really bad. And I know you guys didn't get it. And I was like, we got the illustration. We did. We got that part. But it's okay. We make mistakes. It's all right. You know what to do for the next time. Still, she was still feeling dejected and deflated. And I said, you know what? Here's something that I had to learn. And I'm going to share this with you. We were created with feelings. We're supposed to feel all the feelings we were created with. So if you're feeling deflated, you're feeling dejected, you're feeling sad, you're grieving, whatever feeling it is, or you're feeling elated, whatever it is. But a lot of times, this 72-hour rule that I have is because I'm going to allow myself to feel whatever it is that I'm feeling. And when the 72 hours is up, recovery begins. Recovery actually starts during the 72 hours, but I like to give myself that first 48 hours to feel what I'm feeling. If I want to cry, I'm going to cry. If I am upset about something, I'm going to feel upset. But then after the 48 hours is my process to recovery. It's the beginning where my recovery commences. And then I go and start working on healing, taking the time to heal, finding out what lessons have I learned from this experience. Guys, just like that fall I told you about at the beginning of the story, you gotta take the time to, one, assess yourself, check yourself, make sure that you are okay. And if you are fortunate, if you are blessed to have people in your life who are supportive, and a lot of times the people who we think should be supportive of us aren't always supportive. Not in the way that we think, or when we really need them the most. They're not always supportive. It's going to be okay, because you know what? At the end of the day, you, me, we have to have our own backs. We can expect other people to have our back if we don't have our own back. And I talked about this before. You got to have your own back, guys. Take care of yourself. Assess what's going on. Assess what's happening in your life. And then once you do that, and if you have those people who are a support system in your life, make sure that they're good support for you. Not the ones that's going to sit there and laugh, go, ha ha. And look, we got it. You're probably one of those people. I have them in my family too, guys. Listen to me. If you fall, sometimes we're just clumsy, right? And you may go, ha ha. And then people realize, oh, for real, they hurt themselves, right? And then they go check on you. Me, I'm just the opposite. I'm like, are you okay? And then I'm trying to hold in the laughter. Are you okay? And then I laugh. And then if I see you chuckling, it's all good. And we laugh together. But that's part of it. And I know that our mutual friend who was trying to encourage the lady that was feeling deflated just wanted to pick herself and dust herself off. And she was coming from a place of love. She meant well, but it came across differently. It was like, just pick yourself up and dust yourself off. It's okay. We all make mistakes. Go on with your life. Sometimes we got to feel what we got to feel first in order for us to go on with our lives. So take the time, assess, have your own back. And if you have other people who can support you in this process to help you recover, do so. And in the meantime, in the most uncomfortable periods of your life, in your business, take the time to recover, because there's so much power in the bounce back. Now, I hope that you all have enjoyed the first quarter of the podcast this year, because we've delved into real estate and building your credit and real estate investing. And it's wonderful for your business, right? And even for those who are dreaming of buying their first home, if there's any way that I can be of service, any way that I can help you, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help with your buying, selling needs. Even if you're in another part of the country or state and you're thinking about relocating, I have trusted advisors all across the United States that I can connect you with if I cannot personally help you in North Carolina. But this upcoming quarter, you are going to hear from other business owners, and I'm talking about some pretty big time business owners that have had setbacks, that have faced opposition. And they're going to be coming on to share their story with us. And guys, I can tell you, Some of them is profound, truly profound. And look at them now. When you hear their story, you're going to be like, wow, look at them now. But they didn't get there. It wasn't just smooth sailing for them. They've had personal health issues, family opposition, or just a lot of no's before they got that one yes that they needed. So stay tuned to the upcoming other episodes of Work It, Live It, Own It. If this episode resonated with you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Leave me a review. Leave a review. Share with us in the community how you have been able to take steps to recover from a setback, personal or business-wise. All right, that wraps it up for this particular episode. Please, whatever you do, don't forget to work it, live it, own it in your everyday lives. Until next time, guys, take care.